So here's something you may not know unless you are a fellow YouTube content creator. When a normal, average, standard, not insane person gets a new toy in the mail, they open the box and then they look and see what's inside, then they rip the toy open and then they play with the toy. When I get a new toy in the mail, I rip open the box, I see I get a new toy, and then I look on my production schedule to see when can I open the toy on camera so that I can share it with you. So you may have seen the video I did a week or two ago about the Tron handheld from Tomytronic. And in the comments of that video, several of you said, "John, that reminds me so much of the Scramble that I had from the same company." And my reaction was, Tomy put out a Scramble handheld in the 80s and I missed it? Well, I went looking online and here is what I have found. This is a copy of the Tomy handheld Scramble from 1982. But not just any old copy, this one has been sealed for 41 years and never opened. I open my toys and that's what we're gonna do with this one right after this. This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info. Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I am John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. And as you can imagine, this thing has been burning a hole on my shelf. I've been dying to get it open. Look, I know what the games play like because we played that Tron, but I've never opened one brand new. So we're gonna go to the table and we're gonna open this thing as if we are kids in 1982. We just got this for Christmas or our birthday. We're gonna experience it just like we would have back then. Cut that tape for the first time, take it out of the foam or cardboard or whatever it's got in there, and we're gonna give it a play. Let's get going. I'm ready to play some Scramble. And look, not only is this thing still sealed in the box itself is still in pretty doggone good condition. Now you can see the tape down here is a little yellowed, but it appears to be the original tape. Look, when I purchased it, it was called Sealed, Never Opened. And from all I can tell, that's true. If I'm wrong, I'll find out when I open it with you because I have not checked the veracity of that claim yet. Around back, we have the overview of the game. It shows kind of how they achieve the different sorts of levels using just this VFD display. It talks about different difficulties, but maybe the coolest thing still on this box is a provenance item, and it's this sticker from Montgomery Ward's that tells us this unit was originally $19.94 and purchased on February 23rd. I have to guess that had to be 82 or 83 when this unit was first released. This is the sort of thing that I would never peel off or try to clean off of a box like this because it's part of the history and the lifespan of this box. It tells us where it's been, what shelf it sat on, what it did before it got to me, till ultimately 41 years later, I could get out my X-Acto and cut it open. Now, if seeing me cut open sealed items like this makes your teeth itch, I apologize, but I just don't look at these old things like this. These were meant to be played and enjoyed and loved and probably discarded. They were never meant to be investment items. So I approach it with a viewpoint that this was a gadget intended for me in the first place, and it just took me a few decades to finally get it in my hands. Yeah, I collect toys, but I also play with my toys. They're not gonna sit unopened. There it is. There's something about this thing just being absolutely pristine, not having been touched by people for 40 years, that just makes me giddy. I love it even more. We're gonna get to the unit. Let's look at these instructions first. Yes, I know I have a proclivity for throwing away instructions. Not so with vintage gadgets like this. The instructions are part of the cool part here. So yeah, so it's a trifold, just like the Tron was, kind of. So over on this side, we just talk about putting in the batteries, how the controls work down here. Yeah, just what you're going to see. And then talking about the different levels. You have the city level, over here you have the meteorite level, UFO, the cave level, and I'm guessing continuing here, yeah, the enemy space base and what you need to do to play. All the breakdown of points and all that kind of stuff. I think I can stop talking about just how pristine it is. Obviously, it's not been touched, but seeing something like this, despite just a little yellowing maybe, I mean, there's no dog ears or anything, obviously, unless it was crammed in the box that way, it's gonna be exactly the way it was when it was packaged. So let's get to the unit though. I'm gonna take you on a quick tour of the unit, but we've gotta take just a second to admire how cool it is to see a piece of tech from this era with its like zero blemishes, zero scratches, zero anything, just waiting for you to play it just like it would have been 40 years ago. This follows what looks like the same mold as Tron, and the screen is very similar. It's slightly magnified. When we get into playing that, we'll see how that looks. Down here on the control deck, we have an up-down toggle for navigating up and down, so rather than any buttons or joysticks or anything, that's interesting and different. Difficulty is here, amateur or pro. The power switch on or off. Somebody mentioned in the comments of Tron, that's kind of backwards for like North American markets. Typically off would be left and on would be right. Okay. And this button is a double duty. It could start the game, and also it's for firing bullets when you're playing. Now this was also true on the Tron, I just didn't call it out. These Tomytronic handhelds support an AC adapter, so you can have direct powering if you don't want to use batteries. I think that's pretty cool. Somebody even told me that these are rough on batteries, so I expect that would be a welcome change. And it says the actual adapter, the voltage and everything, is in that manual, which luckily we have. Flipped around here on the bottom, the Cliff Notes version of the instructions, because often kids would lose the instructions, and so even if you didn't have them, or you hand me down, or you get this at a thrift shop, there's still at least some of the instructions. And as expected, check out this battery box. Not only has it never seen a battery in it, but look at these prongs that are still like really bent out because they're waiting for their first battery to be inserted. Well, let's not make it wait any longer. 1, 2, 3, 4 C-cell batteries. Close that battery door, flip it over, and power it up. Very quickly before we continue, let me just take a second of your time to ask that if you enjoy what we do here on GenXGrownUp, you like the videos that we produce, please consider supporting us financially. For as little as $1 a month, you can become a regular patron over at GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon, and it will ensure that we can continue to do what we do at the quality we do it, at the velocity we're able to do it. That's it. If you can, great. If you can't, no problem. We appreciate you watching. Let's get back to playing. Yep, powered up beautifully. The screen looks awesome. Now you'll notice this bezel is going to look a little out of focus. That's because the game is inset. It's farther deeper in the machine. So to focus on the game, the foreground's a little fuzzy, but I mean, the game's what we want to see anyway, so let's do it. I loved Scramble in the arcade. I can only imagine I'm going to love this. Up and down. Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. And when you fire, it gets a bullet and a bomb. Cool. You only have about 4 levels you can go to, so it's mostly right answers all the time. Ooh. I'm noticing here and liking how the VFD uses different parts to indicate different kinds of enemies. You know, every cell has the box outline, it has the rocket part, the middle part, that can just be a bullet or whatever, so very creative use of, just taking advantage of the limitations, or I should say working around the limitations of what a VFD like this would do. Yeah, so we already got some meteorites coming in. Got to stay clear of those. Looks like I can get low on those. Look, I won't say this is as fun as the original Scramble. I will say that, oh, ouch, I will say that I'm having fun with this in a way that I also have fun with Scramble. And love the fact that there's a handheld version of Scramble, just in general. Like, these Tomytronics are now, they're on my list of always keep an eye out for them. I had no idea they did so much, and I had no idea they did such good quality and good translations. The sounds are serviceable, I guess. Not amazing, but they get the job done. I like the decision of having that low kind of boom in the background, that kind of, like the sound of your rocket ship's engine, maybe. Uh-oh. Oh, here they come. Swarming in on me. See, again, they use different parts of those cells to indicate the different kinds of enemies. That's cool. Can you imagine having this as a kid in '82? I can, because I just got one, and it's exactly like it would have been in '82. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get close. We made it through that one. Now what? Ah, another cavern. Now, since you can't go forward and backward, this is going to be all about just threading the needle and moving as soon as you can across these 4 possible levels. And of course, taking out enemies that might decide to launch on you. I gotta hurry here. Get down there. So much of playing these VFD or LCD games is about moving the moment before the screen refreshes. Well, like here, I'm stuck. Oh, I'm not. I got out of it. This is great. Oh, are we there? Are we there? Yes, all right, so what you have to do is shoot through this like breakout, but if you destroy all the blocks, the new row comes in, see? That's a trick. Oh my goodness. Now look, I rebuilt them all. And your fuel's gonna run out, so you have to time all this. We're getting there. All right, I made it to the final boss again, so this time don't shoot the fuel tanks, dummy. And they're moving in different directions, which makes that a challenge. Got him! Boom! Very cool. And then we move back to the beginning, I assume keeping my score and continuing. Yep, very neat. Let's take a quick look at the Pro mode. All right, so I've switched it to Pro. Let's just see how much faster the fuel goes down and how much faster you move. Not crazy fast, a little faster, certainly. I think the instructions said you lose a fuel line every time you go like 8 spaces on Pro mode. Yeah, it's just a more challenging version of the same game. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely running a little lower on fuel, but there's plenty of fuel tanks. I'm sure that Pro mode is going to make the final boss that much more challenging because you don't have so long to work on getting through the shield. You'll have to do it quickly, because that fuel's not going to last you as long as it did on amateur mode. Awesome! There was nothing quite like the experience of opening and playing with a piece of tech like this that's been sitting sealed, literally waiting for me for decades to open it up and enjoy it. I'm going to throw some links over my shoulders here and here to some other cool vintage electronics we've reviewed here on the channel. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.